That was in Israel. I sold them in Israel.
They sell in Israel.
Some American guy. Yeah, there's lots of Americans over there. No black. Hi, good evening, ladies.
Kavod Harav, how are you?
Baruch Hashem. Thank God.
Good evening.
God bless you. Thank you. All right. So we're getting towards the end of Tzitzit, and then going on to Tefillin. Another no lady subject, no woman subject. What can we do? Then after that, the women will come back. They'll make a comeback. Okay. All right.
Tefillin next time.
But it really is very important and fascinating to learn the laws of Tefillin. It's also quite involved. Okay, so let's go on. Okay. So did we do the Shulchan Aruch, the first one, Alec? We did?
Let me see. We did Beit Yosef Gimel and then Shulchan Aruch Gimel, and then I think
we did Gimel.
that's what. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, the bit Aleph.
One.
Okay, that's good. Sounds good to me. All right. Thanks for the tip. Thank you. One second, I'm sorry. So we're doing Bet Yosef. There's Bet to Daled. Yeah, I guess we're doing that one. Yeah, you see that, Bet Yosef? Katab Bal Haitur. I think there's also the Bet to Daled, like something like that.
Yeah.
There's also, I think, a tour on this. Yeah, there's a tour. Katab Bal Haitur.
Yeah.
You see that?
Mm-hmm.
So it says Balaitur, Otam shemekabatzim tzitziot b'shar kriyat shema. Those who gather up the tzitzit for a kriyat shema, to hold it, right, as we do, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they put it over their eyes, this, all that, a whole ritual. So it says probably the reason why they do that is because it's ureitemoto, to see the tzitzit. That's what it says in the pasuk, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look at the tzitzit. Because they used to wear it under their clothing, right? So it's, I'm sorry.
Who did? Who wore it on the clothing?
In those days, that's what they're saying, right?
Interesting.
Yeah. So Gedula mitzvot tzitzit. So it says, great is the mitzvot tzitzit, sheshkula keneged kol mitzvot. It's weighed against all the mitzvot combined. Okay. How do we know that? Where it says, right, you should see them. Was chartem et kol mitzvot Adonai, right? Tzitzit oled tafresh. So gematria, the numerical value of tzitzit is 600. The chet chutin, right? 8 strings, 608, and then heksharim, 5 knots. So altogether you have 613. So that's the remez. That's the illusion that it corresponds to the whole Torah. Even that's 613 altogether. No, it's written lacking. Yud, the light Yud is not there. Mefaresh b'tanchuma explains in Tanchuma. Gimel pamim ketib tzitzit. It says 3 times tzitzit. The word tzitzit. Parshat tzitzit. The chad minayu, and one of them it says the tzitzit shadai lamed lekulhu. Vehi mashlemet aminyan. Right. So he says that. אחד מן היהוד לציצית שדי למד לכולהו. שדי למד לכול, right. So in other words, one of them is for tzitzit. So you take the lamed for all of them, divide up into 3. So this lamed, let tzitzit says let tzitzit, divide up into 3, so each one gets 10 extra, so that fills in the lacking yud. Cool. So therefore it fulfills the number. Okay, that's the one, right? That's in Tanchuma, Midrash Tanchuma. So then it says, Rashbi Omer, right? Rabbi Shimon says, Kol hazehir b'tzitzit zocheh ureh pnei shchina. Whoever is careful with tzitzit, he sees the face of the Shekhinah. Can you imagine? There you go. Right? So that's a big thing.
Yes, it's just being careful with all the 630 mitzvot.
Right, but tzitzit is a very special thing. Ketib hacha ureitem oto. It says over here, you should see them. Uktib hatam, it says over there, etam lo echat tira. You should feel the God, your God. Ve'oto ta'avod, and you should serve Him. Resh Lakish Amar, it says Resh Lakish, kol hazahir b'mitzvot tzitzit. Whoever is careful with tzitzit, zocheh shem meshamshim lo bet alafim v'chet meot avadim. He's going to have 2,800 slaves serving him in the world to come. A big staff of servants, right? As it says, right? Asher yachaziku asra anashim. It says in the prophet like this, right? That 10 people, they'll hold 10 people. Anashim, asara anashim b'kol anashonot hagoyim, from all kinds of nations, right? That are going to come and hold on to the skirt of the Jews to go with them. Ve'chaziku b'kanaf ish yehudi, and they're going to hold on to the skirt of a Jewish man. Right? Let me just shut down this voice here. So, as we said, yeah, that's what it says in the pasuk. So from there you learn, right, that they're going to have each one 2,800. But it says whoever cancels the mitzvah tzitzit, right, doesn't do it, refuses to do it, right? Right, he's going to be holding the land, right? What does that mean? He's going to be buried, whatever, God knows what. So it says, right, at all times your clothing should be white. It says, that's tzitzit. The shemen al roshecha, and also there should be oil on your head. Right? Should not lack. That's tefillin, right? So there it tells you, right, that if you do these 2 mitzvot, you're a big man, right? It's a big zechut, right? Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov Omer, kol mi sheyesh lo tefillin. Whoever has tefillin, zo mitzvot. Berosho. Whoever has tefillin on his head, on his arm, umezuzah bepitcho, and he has a mezuzah on his door. But tzitzit bebigdon, he has tzitzit on his clothing. Muftach lo shelo yecheta. He's assured that he won't sin. Can you imagine? Right. So you see there from there that tzitzit protects you from sin. You know, that's the thing. So it's a big deal. It's a big deal. As it says, right, that these 3 things, it says in the pasuk, the 3 woven, the 3-ply rope will not easily break. Yomer Chonem alach Adonai saviv u'lire'ah v'lechaltzem. It says also this pasuk, which means that the angel of Hashem will save him because of this zchut that he has. Okay, very good. That's the end of the tour. Let's go back to Bet Yosef. That's a good finale, right? For the Tzolot of Tzitzit, right? To give you that final energy, right? Exactly, yeah, exactly. You get the idea. Katav Balaitu. It says Balaitu. It says in Bet Yosef. Katuv Be'agot Maimoniot. A little bit, one line down. It says in this place. So Perek Gimel over there, and the Perek Gimel, the Midrash Shochar Tov. It's a Midrash called Shochar Tov. Yesh Beha. It says over there, Dechol Atzmotai Tomarna. Right. So there's a pasuk from Tehillim. Amar David, said David, David said to Hashem, Ani meshabechacha b'chol evarai. He says, I praise you with all my limbs. Ad yadi hasmalit ba ani kroshet tefillin. So he says, even on my left hand, I put tefillin. I tied the tefillin, right? Shel yadi on my hand. Uba ani ochez tzitzit, and also I hold tzitzit with that. Bizman shkiyat shema. The time we say kiyat shema. There you go. Right? So even David was holding like that. Can you imagine? There you go. Right? The chazeh in the chest. Ani masim tzitzit. I put the tzitzit in my chest. Right? Keneged libi, next to my heart. Oh, I like that. It's good. Bizman shani korek kiyat shema. Time to hear the read kiyat shema. Shema, as it says, vayu adevarim ha'ele. Right? The pasuk. Al levavecha should be on your hearts. So you see from here that it's a mitzvah to hold the tzitzit in your left hand, next to his heart. Bizman kriyat shema, the time of kriyat shema. There you go.
Then we go to Moshe, right?
Yeah.
The third paragraph, right? We switch.
What we do is we take it with the right hand, to
right. We switch over and then, or do we let go of the left?
No, it stays there. Just you take also the part with your right hand.
Right.
Okay. So it says V'gama Mordechai. Says also the Mordechai Katav Basov Perek Ulav Gazul. He also writes there B'shum Yerushalmi, name Yerushalmi, the Katan sheodeh lechol b'tzitzit. Katan that knows how to wear tzitzit, to hold tzitzit, kishura, like properly. B'shal kriyat shema, time kriyat shema. Mechanchin oto, right? We train him with tzitzit to buy him tzitzit. Adkan, right? Buy him tzitzit. Katav Rabbi David Abu Drehem says, "Oh, this rabbi, b'dinei kriyat shema, lazu kriyat shema, b'shem Rab Netornai Gaon, in the name of this Gaon, sha'ochez b'tzitziyotav be'ado." The one who holds the tzitzit in his hands, kishehu koreh tashema. When he reads the Shema, Yehirutahu. So it's like Gava, I guess in those times they didn't have a custom. So like if you do it, like you're like, oh, you're being a hot shot,
Mm-hmm.
But now everybody does it, so it's okay, Shekol davar she'en adam mechuyab bo. Look what it says, right? Anything what a person is not obligated to do. It's a big principle in halakha, right? He does it in public. If he's not chassidut, he wants to look like a chassid in public. And people don't do that. He's the only one who does it. Looks like he's a hot shot. He looks like he's a gava. Like he's an arrogant person. Conceited person, right?
Rabbi,
this is a general rule that we have in the Torah.
can I ask a question?
Yeah.
How come the Chazan doesn't do it?
Which Chazan?
When Kriyat Shema, they don't take their tzitzit.
They should.
When whoever's reading, they go so fast.
Who, Yosef?
No, everybody. I see. They don't do that. When they're standing up, right? They're reading for the.
Are you talking about Shachrit?
Yeah.
They should. Tell them, no, Chazan, why are you doing like that? You have to hold your tzitzit.
They don't
Yeah,
do
you
the
rebuke them.
Thing they go so fast.
Huh?
I mean, I sometimes I can't.
You're talking about this guy. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, sometimes you gotta give him some pointers, he needs a little bit of direction.
No, and I haven't seen a single one who does it so far. Everybody else does it, but the Chazan never does it.
You know what that means? We find a different minyan.
I see. Yeah.
It's your sign. It's your omen. Okay.
Everyone is obligated. No,
Of course, yeah. I mean, it's not really such an obligation in halakha, you know. It's a hidur mitzvah, you know. But you know, I mean, the person who doesn't do that, you can see these amaretz, you know, like doesn't know how to pray properly. You know, I'm not telling you he's a rasha, you know. Don't get me wrong. You know?
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's a sinner, but he's amaretz for sure. Never learned the laws of Kriyat Shema, you know what I mean? Never learned the laws of Tzitzit. Why should somebody like that be praying for, you know, as a chazan? You know, he should know first the laws a little bit, what he's doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Put some amaretz up there. You know what I mean? Not good. Okay, whatever. So, so it says Maran, now, since some people already do that, you know, today, most people do it. Tu lo michzekura, it doesn't look anymore like gava, you know. Vezel Lashon Sefer Orchot Chaim. And so therefore, this language of Orchot Chaim, Amarav Nitranai going to go on. Haochez betzitzotav be'ado kishekorek et Shema. If he holds the tzit when he's holding the same Kriyat Shema, yurid to it's gava. Lechin katav nami Rab Moshe Gaon. And so you see the Gaonim say this. You know what I mean? These are big people. You know what I mean? So in those days, apparently they didn't do it. You know, so if you did it, you look like you're being conceited.
Mhm.
And by the way, you see also another thing, you know, the fact that they didn't do it, that means it's not really obligation. You know, otherwise, why weren't they doing it?
Right.
It's just a hidur mitzvah, you know, whatever. Okay, so.
Now I remember, Rabbi,
Yeah.
maybe I'm not looking at that time. That's why I don't see anybody do it.
I'm sorry?
Maybe the Chazan does it.
So
Everyone's
then-
preoccupied.
Okay, so okay, all right. Yeah, it's hard to imagine that the Chazan doesn't do it. I mean, you know, whatever, okay, God bless, whatever. The truth is that I was looking for this Bet Yosef, and for some reason I had a hard time finding it. I'm talking like about 15 years ago. I saw it one time, and I wanted to go back and find it, and now I finally found it. I see where it is. It's at the end of Chav Zayin.
And
Right, there you go. Right, I was looking for this. He says, he explains furthermore. So he says what? Just because he's looking at the tzitzit at the time that he wears it, he puts it on, and blessed on it. So then why does he hold it in his hand? What's the point, right? In other words, he already looked at it one time. So you know, when he put it on. So what's the point now? So that you see from there, when you get to this point of ukshatem, you have to hold the tefillin also, right? Yeah. You touch them, right? That's what he's saying, right? If you're going to tell me you should hold it when he gets to uktavtam to write them, then you don't have to touch his mezuzah when he's praying, right? That's a little bit hard since he's not home. So he says, therefore, a person who does this, you know, tell him not to do it, right? In other words, in those days, it seems like it was something not really, you know, not really accepted. But here's telling you a different reason, you know what I mean? Because it just doesn't fit in, right? Adkan, okay. Rabbeinu Yonah Hasid. It says Rabbeinu Yonah Hasid. Katav tzarich li'ayin behem kishemagia li'ureitem oto. He says you have to look at them when you get to ureitem oto. That's the minhag today, right? We don't go like this Gaon. Rab Moshe Gaon.
we'll look or we touch the eyes.
Sorry? Huh?
We'll just look or we touch the eyes in case.
Yeah, I don't have to really touch the eyes, you know, just to over, you know, run it over.
When we say Uritem, I just look at him.
Yeah. No, when we say rotomoto, you should pass it over your eyes. That's the time to pass it over.
You should bring it up.
Yeah. So you're holding it like this between these two fingers, and you're holding this and like this, right?
I see.
Yeah, that's the proper way.
Right.
Okay. So it says, כתב צריך לעיין בהם, we said this already, אורחות חיים, וכיוון שאחר דברי הגאונים האלה, שהביא דברי רבנו יונה, since he brought, after the words of the Gaonim, brought רבנו יונה, נראה שכדבריו הוא תופס, it seems like he's holding like him. So meaning what, he doesn't hold like the Gaonim today, you know, that's the whole thing. תופס עיקר, ומה שהקשה הגאון, right, and that which the Gaon said, if so, כשיגיע לכתבתם, when you get to כתבתם, צריך לבוא ולהניח ידו על מזוזתו, you have to touch your mezuzah also. Yes, Tomar, there you can answer that. When you have something in your body, right? A mitzvah in your body, it's different. Because they're right in front of him. So, he's got a chance to do it. In other words, you don't have to go running around, like going looking for things, but since it's right there in your hands, so, do the ritual, be a ritual guy, right? That's the idea. Okay. Rabbeinu Katab Besof Siman Samech Aleph. Says Rabbeinu in the tour, Kedivya Rabbeinu Yonah, Rabbi Yonah, right? So again, right, the custom is to look at them. Right, again, we do one more time.
Then we touch the eyes, right?
Yeah, I don't know. It's really touching. I never heard touching. Just passing it over the eyes.
Again,
yeah, passing it over. Yeah.
Oh, that's twice.
Right. Okay. By the way, you can look also in the modern books a little bit, like the later books. They bring the customs of the Kabbalah. So they will explain more things over there that's not written here. You know what I mean?
But it's all
so what does that mean? Even though Maran saw the Zohar Kadosh, he did, but what he didn't see was the Kitvi Arizal. So that he didn't see because it was being written as he was alive. So he never really saw that. So that you have to look elsewhere. He doesn't bring that because he never saw it in his life. He may have seen it, later on, once he finished these books already, what I mean? But obviously, he didn't, he probably never saw it at all because they say he wasn't able to learn the Arizal, what I mean? He was falling asleep all the time. So he had to leave the class. Yeah. You know the story, right? There's a story like this. Maran came to everybody came to, when the Arizal came to Sfat, everybody came to learn with him, you know what I mean, over there. Because they said, oh, here's a big Kubal, you got to learn from this guy everything. So some people succeeded, like Rabbi Chaim Vital, he succeeded. But there was some people like Moshe Al-Sheikh and Maran Bet Yosef, they didn't succeed, they came there and started to fall asleep, So they asked, the Arizal, why is this happening, like this, So he told Moshe Al-Sheikh, he told him, he says, you, in a different Gilgul, he says, you already learned Kabbalah one time. He says, this is not what your purpose is now in your life. He says, your purpose is now to write Perush on the Chumash. So he says, go and do that. That's what he did, right? Go to the Al-Sheikh, right? Famous Perush on the Chumash, the Al-Sheikh. And also he told Maran, he says, your job is not now to learn Kabbalah with me. He says, your job is to write the halachot, the Shulchan Aruch, Bet Yosef. So you're not, this Gilgul is not for you. You're not meant to be with me. You know what I mean? So that's why. So they got kicked out of the class, basically. In kind of words,
politely.
Kind of politely, right? Politely ushered out. Exactly. That's what it was. The Arizal, he knew what the tikkun's person's tikkun was, So he was able to tell you, like you need this and this and that, This is your tikkun. You got to go and do that. I wish we had somebody like that today. It would be good.
Rabbi, is it true that whoever goes to Arizal's mikvah, is guaranteed to do the
what?
Finish his purpose?
I don't know. I don't know about that. That's beyond me. I'm sorry. It's above my level. What can I tell you? I don't know about those things.
Have you gone?
Huh?
Have you gone?
I didn't go inside the mikveh, but I passed by there because we went to that area. We visited the area. Yeah, it was a nice trip, a beautiful trip we took. But to the north, we went up there. Yeah. There's a big cemetery there, with all those big people are buried there, in Tzfat. It's incredible. The whole thing it was an incredible experience. I mean, very moving. One of the prophets is also buried there. Hoshea ben Be'eri from the Bible. He's buried there also in that cemetery. Can you imagine? The same cemetery as the Arizal, the Maran Bet Yosef. They're all buried there. Can you imagine such a thing like this? That's incredible. You have to go there. Yeah. And then I went there a second time before I left Israel. And but that time I didn't go into the cemetery. I just passed by. It was so strange, Here's the thing. Listen to this now, okay? I went to the north because I had a meeting with somebody. I had a meeting to do. I wasn't intending to go to the cemetery, visit the tzaddikim, and that wasn't my intention. But Hashem, has different plans. You know what I mean? Rabot machshavot belevish, v'atzat Hashem itakum. In the end, Hashem takes you wherever He wants. Not wherever you want. So what happened was that all of a sudden, the bus took like a detour, and they couldn't go through whatever. They dropped me off right at the kever of Rashbi, So I came right there. I didn't go inside the kever, just I passed by, And then after I had the meeting with this person that I was supposed to meet, they dropped me off right at the cemetery of the Arizal, over there, the big cemetery over there. So I didn't go in there. I was, I wanted to go and learn. There was a yeshiva there, so I went to yeshiva and started to learn there, until I left, until the bus came, right, to take me back, whatever. So, but you know what it was? I had like a serious issue there with the government, some problems, whatever. Once I passed by those two places, everything got solved. Then I realized, I said, oh my God, like Hashem took me to these places. I wasn't even intending to go there, but as I said, I didn't go in there. I didn't pray, nothing. Just the fact that I passed by, that already got me through, it seems, Can you imagine? Exactly like it says in the Zohar HaKadosh. I told you. Yeah. They already know what your problem is when you pass by. You don't have to ask them anything. It's incredible, what can I tell you? Okay. So let's go on. So it says, Rabbeinu Katav Besot Per Siman Salach. We already said this, right? Okay, good. So now it tells you, right? It also says in Manhig, Minhag Le'agbia Kanfer Talit, Le'arot Tzitzit Be'amro Ve'aya Lachem. This is also, there's a custom like that to pick up the tzitzit, right? Ve'aya Lachem Tzitzit, Ureitem Oto, right? Le'zichron, right? To remember Taryag Mitzvot, to remember the Mitzvot. Le'tzitzit, Lashon Metzitz. Right? So it says the word tzitzit also implies like gazing, so you're gazing at the tzitzit. It also implies that. Interesting. Okay. All right. Katuv Samak, says the Samak. Mitzvah le'istakel b'tzitzit. Right? So mitzvah look at the tzitzit. B'ktiv ureitem oto. It says you should see them. B'arivash katav, says the Rivash, b'tshuvato on the tshuva, chelek bet siman taf pei vav. Sha'alta, says you should ask the question. Ki nahagta le'istakel b'tzitzit b'shal kriyat shema. You're accustomed to look at the tzitzit when you're saying kriyat shema. Kishatam magia l'ureitem oto. When you say ureitem oto, mipnei shariat ken. Right, because you saw somewhere it says like that. Rabbeinu Yonah, it says Rabbeinu Yonah like this. B'Sefer Ha'ira, in the book of Sefer Ha'ira. Again, B'Sefer Amudei Gola also says over there. Moneh mitzvot le'atzma le'istakel b'tzitziot. It also says there. Look at the tzitzit. Ve'amarta ki yesh lo'agim alecha. But you say, you already told me. But once you start to do that, people are making fun of you, like mocking you. They're saying, what are you doing? You look like strange. What are you, some kind of a space cadet? What are you trying to do over there? Ki yesh lo'agim alecha. Nismachim lema shematzu tushbat Rabbi Netronai. So they, why? Because they saw in the Geonim, they say, right, those things against that, right? Because we already mentioned already. Right? Shemelamdim lemi she'oseh ken shelo yaseh she'im ken. Because they say over there, whoever does so, kishemagir kshatem tie them. Ne'emar she'ochaz betfilin. It says in tefillin. Kishemagir uchtavtam. When it says uchtavtam, ne'emar she'utzarich le'avol le'vetav. You can touch the mezuzah also. The shuvah. So he answers, right, the Rivash, this question. Interesting, right? There you go, halakha, right?
How did the minhag came to be? Whoever started it, he was going against the Geonim.
Right. So you know what it is, right? That as we already mentioned, I think we mentioned before, right? That the Rishonim had no problem arguing with the Geonim. You know what I mean? So they were able to, overturn the psak of the Geonim in many ways. Rishonim. As I told you, right? This is exactly what happened with the Rambam. That. As I told you, that the Geonim were putting the Tin Rabbeinu Tam only, and then they asked the Rambam. They said, "Which one is right, Rashi or Rabbeinu Tam?" They asked him. So he looked into it and he passed it like Rashi. So then all of a sudden the minhag changed, and that was it. And the minhag switched over. So that's the way it is, So then all the big Rishonim, the Rashba, the Ritva, the Meiri, all these big Rishonim wrote like the Rambam, like the Rashi. So the psak of the Geonim got overturned, basically, But, who could really overturn the psak of the Geonim? That's the whole thing, right? It's like 50-50,
Right.
Rishonim like this, Geonim like this. Who can make a psak with decide between them? Who can do such a thing like that? Okay, that's the whole thing. So I'll tell you also another thing, which is you should know that once I bought the Rabbeinu Tam Tefillin, my learning started to go up also, to a different level altogether. You know what I mean? So that's a remez to you, right? That it's a very good investment. If you If you want to turbocharge your learning, go for Rabbeinu Tam.
Should I get it from this room?
You know what it is? I'll tell you. Yeah, it's cheaper over there. It's cheaper. Yeah, I can send you somebody, by the way. I have friends over there. Yeah. Don't go to just somebody you don't know, because you never know if he's good. He's not good, Don't go just anonymous people. Not a good idea. But what do you call it? I'll tell you, the truth is, that when you put on Rabbeinu Tam, you get like a different perspective in the Torah. Like in other words, you see it from different angles. It's different. It helps you to understand. The problem is that maybe I'm being a little bit excessive. Whatever. What I'm saying is a little extreme, but the guys who don't put Rabbeinu Tam, you know what it is? They have like one-sided vision. Like they can't see all the sides. Of the truth. And but the one who puts Rabbeinu Tam, he's able to see all the sides. That's why the Sephardi rabbis, they see everything. Like this, they come from all sides. That's why they're superior in halacha in many ways. Because they put Rabbeinu Tam, they see every side of everything. It's a big thing. That's why Rabbeinu Tam. It's a big thing. It's a big thing. Yeah.
Do you have to wear it while learning? Right?
I'm sorry.
Are you saying while learning?
Wear it while you're learning, but the truth is, once you put it, that already does the job. You know what I mean? The Rabbi says, Rabbi, he writes in one of his books that according to Maran Shulchan Aruch, Maran Bet Yosef, if you put the tefillin on for a split second, you always fulfill your obligation, even a split second. You know what I mean? Any tefillin, yeah. But the customers say at least catch my, you know what I mean? At least that much, right?
Right.
But even if you didn't, you still fulfill your obligation. You know what I mean? Okay. Yes. So here answers the Rivash this question, right? Big question. So says the Rivash, Teshuvah. By the way, it's also interesting, that why do we find, right, that the Rishonim had a different approach to the halakha than the Geonim? It's maybe because they were reading different tefillin. It could be that was the whole thing. You know what I mean? It's very possible that was the whole, that's why the Rishonim had a lot of arguments with the Geonim. They reversed a lot of things that the Geonim said. So it was
like you said, the Kabbalah and the Halacha is two sides of the same coin.
The Gaon Vilna says that, yeah. It's Gaon Vilna, yeah.
Maybe this is also the case.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, exactly. It's all one, everything is one, but just have to get all sides. That's the whole thing, Yeah. There's also, the Gaon Vilna argues against it, putting Rabbeinu Tam. He didn't put Rabbeinu Tam. I mean, he was against it. He was one of the, there's always another opinion. There's always an argument. So he wrote like this. He says, what's the point of putting Rabbeinu Tam? He says there's 64 opinions about how to make tefillin properly. He says, so if that was the case, I would have to put 64 pairs of tefillin. He says to fulfill all the sides. That was his argument. That was his argument. That's why he didn't put Rabbeinu Tam. But the truth is, his argument is not really correct so much. You know why that is? Because as the rabbi, he answered that, right? In other words, he wasn't intending to answer that question, but he said it, and that answers the question. With Rabbeinu Tam and Rashi, it's not just two, it's not like one opinion, it's just like it's 50-50. There's no clear halacha, So therefore, there's no clear winner there, So that means you need both sides. When there's a case like that where there's no clear victor, there's no clear halacha, and there isn't, by the way, when it comes to these things. So then, it's not like one of those 64 opinions, that it's not the same thing. You know what I mean? So with all the respect to the Gaon Vilna, but by the way, because of the Gaon Vilna, that's why the Ashkenazim, a lot of them don't put Rabbeinu Tam, because they rely on his opinion. I'm talking about the Lithuanians, the Taim, Hasidim they put.
Right.
I mean, they all put Hasidim. Even the regular guys, even the workers, But the Taim don't put. Why? Because they rely on the Gra. But there's a famous tshuva written in Igot Moshe Feinstein, over there. Famous tshuva printed over there. You have to see the tshuva, by the way. Very important to this tshuva. What's the tshuva over there, right? The Rabbi Milubavitch sends a letter to the Rav Moshe Feinstein. Tells him, he says, do you put Rabbeinu Tam? He asks him, So it says Rav Moshe Feinstein like this. He answers him, he says, when I was in Russia, I had a pair. He says, when I came to America, I lost it. He says, I don't have it anymore. So he tells him, I don't put it. Can you imagine? This was like probably over 50 years ago, where there wasn't a lot of materials here. There wasn't a lot of I'm sorry. Yeah, he didn't put it. He was the Ashkenazi and the Lithuanian. They don't put. Most of them don't put it. So, but he used to put. He says when he in Russia, he had one. He had a pair. So when the Rebbe Lubavitch, he heard this, you know what he told me? He says, do me a favor. He says, I'll send you a pair. You know, I have a sofer. He says, we'll make it specially for you and we'll send you. He says, let me send you a pair. So Rav Moshe Feinstein, he thought about it, you know, and he told him, he says, okay, he says, you know what, do it, send me a pair, but he says, do it according to my specifications. I have certain specifications, you know, according to my opinions, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Do it like this, so he says, if you do like this, send me a pair. So he sent them, you know, he sent them a pair. You know, so that was it's printed in Bigrat Moshe, this whole discussion between them, this whole give and take. Right, so in the end, he also got one.
Filling one of the 64 opinions.
That's funny,
according
right?
to specifications.
Okay, so that's that, right? But the truth is, you know, all the Sephardi Gedolim, they all put Rabbeinu Tam, without any exception. By us, you know, it already, after the Chidah, which was like 300 years ago, everybody puts, you know, all the big Chachamim in the Sephardi world, they put Rabbeinu Tam, without any exception. There's nothing to talk about.
I'm sold.
You know what I mean?
I'm sold.
I was sold also. Maybe I was told all these things. I was sold. Okay. So yeah, let's go on. So it says, כן, אין זה, right? So it says, אם היות שנדע שאין הראוי שתמנה הרי למצווה לעצמה כמו שכתוב בספר עמודי גאולה, I'm sorry, the tshuva, right? The tshuva of the Rivash, right? So it says like this, right? אם היות שנראה שאין ראוי שתמנה הרי המצווה לעצמה כמו שכתוב בספר עמודי גאולה. So it says you really shouldn't, you know, it seems like from this book, you shouldn't do the looking of the tzitzit by itself, whatever, like something like that. Because you're giving like a reason for the mitzvot. So that's not proper to do that, you know, to give a reason. Like the rabbi said, he said, the Chazal, in order that a person should get to the tachlis, right? In other words, the highest level, right? Doing the mitzvot, oh, look what it says, right? You should look at the tzitzit when you put it on, if you want to get that level. Can you imagine? Right? So that takes you to a very high level to see the tzitzit when you put it on. Says, that's how I'm noheg. So there you go, right? It says, but you had a minhag. You look at during the time of Kriyat Shema. When you get to V'reitem Oto, al taniach minhag chai. He says, don't give it up. Don't give up this minhag. He says, keep going. Don't worry. He says, don't worry about those guys that were laughing at you. Ki minhag yafeh. Says it's good minhag. The chivuvei mitzvah. You know what he says, right? Chivuvei mitzvah. It's like loving the mitzvah. You know when you do it. You know, it's not an obligation, but it's like you're showing respect and love. You know. V'chen haya noheg mori hasid. Rav Peretz. So he says HaKohen. So that's how my rabbi did. He used to do like that. He says. And that which they asked, right? That now, if you're going to do it tzitzit, you should also do it tefillin like that. And by the way, we do, right? We do that. Yaseh. So it's let him do it. He says, go fine, no problem. You want to do it tefillin? Go ahead. It's also good anyway. Why? Because there's a halakha. It says Shulchan Aruch that a person is always obligated to keep touching his tefillin, like groping it all the time, to remember that he has it on. You know. So that's good. So it's good to do that. They should be careful with them. Like we say, it says in the first parak of Shabbat, person is obligated to hold his grope his tefillin at all times. We learn that from the tzitz, all the more so. What about the tzitz, right? The headband of the Kohen Gadol, right? It's called tzitz. It only has one name of God there. And the Torah said, it should be there always on his forehead. That means you shouldn't forget about it. Tefillin, which has several names of God there mentioned. All the more so you should be groping it. That's how they learn in the Talmud. If he gets to the kshatem, to tie them to tefillin, he touches them there at that time. It's also all the more so it's good minhag to do that. Rabbeinu Yonah katab, says Rabbeinu Yonah katab b'sefer Eira, gam b'tefillin, also with tefillin. So ma shekshu yasu ken the mezuzah. And that was she asked, oh, then I should also do it with my mezuzah, right? So it's sheim amru. It's not connected. He said that's no connection. Why? Sheim amru b'ma she'ulabush umzuman lefanav. If they said regarding something which is already in front of you when you're wearing it, it's not the same thing. Lo amru b'ma she'ukavua b'kotel. We're not talking about something which is in the wall, right? Going to the wall, looking for the mezuzah. What's the connection? V'eno lefanav. This is not in front of him now. The all tzitzit is kira katuv beirah. So also when it comes to tzitzit, the pasuk mentions hareya, looking at it, right, seeing it. In order that they should come to mention it, to remember it. I'm saying, not mention it, to remember it. With tefillin, gamken shamishmush behem mitzvah. That's a mitzvah to grope them all the time. They should be careful with them. If he does so, when you mention ukshatem, right, mishum chibur mitzvah, because you're loving the mitzvah, whatever. So that's also fantastic, right? But it says enoken. But it says when it comes to mezuzah, it's not the same thing. So he says, therefore, keep doing minhag. Keep doing it. This tells him. The one who's mocking you says they're not nice what they're doing, right? Making fun of you like that. There you go, right? Okay. The tshuva of the Rivash. Okay, that's right. That's Bet to Dalit, right? Covers this whole thing. Now we're going to do some Shulchan Aruchs. Probably about 3 of them, right? One after the other. Beautiful. Okay, there you go. Okay. Wow. So we're doing bets. So it says mitzvah be'choz tzitzit b'yad smalit. So it says the mitzvah to hold the tzitzit in your left hand, keneged libo, next to your heart. B'shad kriyat shema tam kriyat shema. Remez ledabar. What's the illusion? Vayu devarim ha'ele, right? Levavecha, on your heart. Right. So there you go. Right. Keep it on your heart. Good. That's bet. Let's go to Gimel. You got that Shulchan Aruch? Yeah. Okay. Good. Let's go to Gimel. Yes. So it says, Tov leistakel b'tzitzit b'shat hatifa. Also good to look at the tzitzit when you put it on, right? As we said. Right? So what does that mean? Like, he holds it, looks at the tzitzit, and then blesses, Litatef tzitzit, puts it on. That's what it means.
Just one.
I'm sorry?
Just one corner. Just take one of them.
Oh, well, no, actually, the truth is, just, as a matter of convenience, right? You're looking at all 4 of them when it's folded. They're all together.
Oh.
So, pick it up, and look at it, and then bless and open and put it on, right? Whatever, something like that. Right? Yeah. Okay, that's that. Let's go to Dalet. One more Shulchan Aruch. Let me go back to the Bet Yosef. יש נוהגים להסתכל בציצית כשמגיעים לראיתם אותו. Some also look at the tzitzit when they get to ראיתם אותו. וייתן אותם על הגעיניים. They put it on the eyes, right? So yeah, kind of like, it implies also like a little bit touching it maybe, yeah. The point is, right, you should pass it over there and see it. Minhag yafehu b'chivlei mitzvah, right? Yeah, it pretty much implies that you touch it.
That's what I have in the camera.
Yeah, it matches good. Matches good. So, okay, so then it says the Ramah, gam nohagim k'tzat, so it says also there's minhag, and ashek tzitzit, to kiss the tzitzit, right? We also do that, by the way,
All of the above.
But yeah, the truth is, that the Shulchan Aruch doesn't mention that kissing it. Just mentions, the eyes. Yeah, but it's good.
I always thought about the kissing, especially when the tzitzit is sweeping the floor multiple times during davening. Yeah, it always falls down.
Okay. All right. Oh, are you talking about that? So it says, "Gam nohagim ksat lenashek tzitzit v'beshat sheroeh bam." So also they kiss it when they see it. V'akol hu chivur mitzvah. Also, what is the purpose? To love the mitzvah, right? That's the idea. Okay, good. That's that. Let's go to Bet Yosef Hey. Yeah, I think there's also above, no?
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. Okay, two of them. So let's see what it says in Bet Yosef. Katub Katav Haram Merikant. Right? He says the Ram Rikanti. Ram Moshe Rikanti. That was his name. Right. I'm sorry.
Italian.
Could be Italian. Could be Spanish. I don't know, God knows, whatever. Anyway, so it says, "Besop parashat shalach lecha." In the end of this parsha, שמסתכל בציצית אז מסתכל בשתי ציציות שלפניו, שבהם עשה קשרים רמז להיד וכמה שונות. When you look at the tzitzit, he says you look at the two front ones. Right? That's what he says. ואני שמעתי עוד שכל אחד מהציציות יש בו 5 קשרים. So I saw also another remez. Each tzitzit has 5 knots ו8 חוטים and 8 strings. כמניין אחד, like one, כשמחבר שני ציציות, when he combines the ציציות שלפניו ולהסתכל בהם, עולים כ"ו, it comes out to כ"ו, כמניין שם הוויה, right, the name of God. Right, so the truth is, according to the Arizal, you're supposed to hold all 4 of them. That's the difference, right? So two different minhagim, According to this, minhag is to look just at the front ones.
Yeah.
That's how the Grab also passes like that. The Grab, right. And but the Arizal says you should take all 4. I remember one time, somebody was giving I think, in one of the books I saw that he says that, right, that even though it says 4 to hold 4 of them in the Arizal, so he says Maran only used to do 2. Why? So the Rabbi, Marshall. So he says because when he got older, it was hard for him to get up, so he couldn't get the other 2 out, so he did 2. That's what he writes over there. I was like, okay, I can understand. He's 85 years old, 90 years old, I can understand that. Okay. Yeah, whatever. So that's the idea. Okay. So, but one thing you'll see for sure, right? It's not crucial, to have all 4. If you can do all 4, it's good, whatever. Okay. So it says, mitzvah is very big. It's weighed against all the mitzvot, as we said. Braita Perek Katchil. It's over there. It's a Braita. Same Gemara over there.
Sorry. What does this mean? Vav, and the
chule, right? The chule. It means like etc. Etc.
Etc.
Yeah. The chule.
Thank you.
Okay, so when I tell you was chatem et kol mitzvot Adonai, you see them all. Remember all the mitzvot Hashem. Shekula mitzvot zo keneged kol mitzvot. This mitzvah corresponds to all the mitzvot. Rashi explains Shekula mitzvah zo, that this mitzvah compares to all the other. And it says it kol mitzvot Adonai, and it says it kol mitzvot Adonai in the Kriyat Shema. That's what it says, right? We all the tzitzit gematria tafresh, also gematria, right? Tafresh 600, then chamisha, right? Ksharim 5 knots, 8 chutim, 8 strings. Haret taryag, so altogether you have 613, right? Adkan, that's the end of it. So according to Rabbeinu, the Torah, it seems like all one idea. But it seems like Rabbeinu didn't have the word od in the Rashi, whatever. It seems like he missed it, right? Whatever he inadvertently missed that word, whatever. Okay, let's see Shulchan Aruch. So it says in the Shulchan Aruch, כשמסתכל בציצית, מסתכל בשני ציציות. When he looks at the tzitzit, looks at 2 tzitziot. שלפניו, which is in front of him. שיש בהם 10 קשרים. and there are 10 knots over there. Remez lehayat, right? Yeah. In other words, the Havayot, right, which is the name of God. I'm sorry?
That's the name of God.
Oh, let's see what he.
The Havayot?
Yeah, Havayot means like Yud Hey Vaveh. That's what it means.
Oh,
it's a different way of saying it.
oh.
Yeah. Havaya. It's a different tense, different tense. Okay, so Begam Yesh Behem, you see all the letters are there, right? Yud, Hey, Vav, Hey, all the letters are there.
Yes, I think.
Isn't it?
But it's also
It's like it's being reversed,
there's the top there.
I'm sorry?
There's top as well.
Yeah, that means it's plural,
Yeah.
It's plural. That's what it means. Begam Yesh Havayot. In other words, several names of God. That's what it means, plural.
But
Begam.
he's using the use name, and saying there are multiple of them.
In other words, there's several times it's written in the Kriyat Shema.
Ah, I see.
Okay. Begam Yesh Behem Tet Zayin Chotim. So it says there are 16 strings there altogether. V'asara Ksharim and 10 knots. Ole Kaf Vav Kishem Havaya. Same thing, right? Again, Havaya. Right? Name of God. Havaya, Havayot. Right? It's plural, singular. Okay, you got it, right? Okay, good. Let's go to Vav. And we're done with Tzitzit. All right. Maram Bet Yosef. Vav. Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai Omer. He says, Kol HaZahir b'mitzvah tzitzit. Whoever's careful with tzitzit, zocher v'roeh perech b'nei Shekhinah. He sees the Shekhinah. Wow. Gam zeh sham peresh Rashi. Right? Rashi explains over there. It says, Ketiv hacha u'etem oto. It says over here, you should see them. Ketuv hatam u've'oto ta'avod. You should serve him. So what does that mean? Sochim bar Hashem. You will see him. You will see God. If you wear tzitzit. You will see him. Okay, there you go. Resh Lakish Amar, it says Resh Lakish, Kol HaZahir b'mitzvah tzitzit. Who is careful with tzitzit? Zocher shemeshemshin, though he has all these slaves, right? Shnei alafim u'shmona meot, 2,800 slaves. Avadim, Shneimar, as it says, Asher yachaziku asara anashim begomer, right? Like it says in the pasuk over there, right? The verse over there, the prophet. Perek lamed van mikin. It says in this perek in Shabbat, lamed bet amud bet. Perish Rashi. Rashi explains the kanaf yesh Yehudi b'sachar hakanaf yachaziku. So it says ish Yehudi in the corner of the beged of a Jewish man, right? With the reward that he had that kanaf, that he had that tzitzit there. Yachaziku b'kanaf asar anashim. Each corner, 10 people will come and hold on to him to be his slaves. We call it Shon, right? In all kinds of nations. Altogether it's 700. L'shiv'im lashon. Each, in other words, each nation, right, which is 70 nations, altogether comes out to be 700. If you have now 4 corners, it comes out to be 2,800. Do the math, right? 7 times 4. Okay, there you go. Okay. כתוב נימוק יוסף, so זה נימוק יוסף. וזה מפני שיכירו בזמן שהוא, look what he says, right? Very simple thing. It says, because in that time, all the goyim were already recognized, right? What? Right? Gedula mitzvah zot. They're going to see how great the mitzvah tzitzit is. So they're going to hold on to it, They're going to say, okay, I'm coming with you, I like that tzitzit, I'm coming with you. Shehegina alenu begola. It says that's what guarded us in the galut, right? In the diaspora. Wow. It's going to bring us to the world of olam haba. Wow. There you go. So again, you see, right, that the tzitzit protects you. Again, right, same thing. So it says, right, your clothing should be white. Zo mitzvah tzitzit. That's content of tzitzit. Beso perek su'el. Rashi explains zet tzitzit shemiluban habeged, shemiloban habeged, because it's usually it's white, right? Whatever. Elu tefillin. That's tefillin. Shehem shem hatov. That's called a good name for you, right? Good for Jewish people. Mishem and tov. It says all people should see, all peoples of the land. They're going to see the name of God is called upon you. What does that mean? Because you're wearing tefillin, right? They say, by the way, there's a story like this, that one time the robbers came into the house of the Gaon of Vilna, to rob him, So what did he do? He saw them, coming in, and he was learning, What else is he going to be doing? He wasn't watching CNN, right? He was learning 24/7, So what happens is, right, they came in, the robbers, So they looked at him, They said, "Oh, okay, hi, how are you?" So what he did was he had like talit and tefillin, and he was learning with tefillin. He was to learn all day with tefillin. You know what I mean? So they say that he took off the talit, like he moved it up and he showed them the tefillin. They got so scared when they saw this, they all ran away. All the robbers. Can you imagine? This is what we're talking about. Rabbi Elazar Gadol. So it's Rabbi Elazar Gadol. He says, "Eru tefillin sheberosh." He's talking about the head, right? He showed them the tefillin of the head. They ran off. That's it. The robbers, right? They left. Okay. Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov Omer. That's. By the way, they say the same thing about the mezuzah. That the chitzonim, the mazikim that are around, the buildings. Once they see that name, Shaddai, in front of the mezuzah, they can't come in. They're scared of that name. They can't come there. It scares them. So that's why the mezuzah is a great protection. You know what I mean? Okay.
Why don't we put it on a rental?
Rental, because it's not kavua. It's not fixed. It has to be 30 days.
Just for protection. You can't put it to take it off.
Yeah, I mean, you could. I mean, but it's patur. You're not obligated. You know what I mean? It's the thing. If you want to put it, you put it. But the truth is that they say, when you're patur from something, it's not really proper to put it on. You know what I mean? It says in Yerushalmi, like they say, whoever's patur from something and does it, it's called hediot. That means like a commoner. Like a amaretz. Like the Torah tells you not to do it. You're coming and I want to do it. Like what's the point? Why are you being more religious than the Torah? You know what I mean? Holier than the Torah.
Are we saying it's protection also for the
right? But the protection is only when you're chayav. That's the whole thing, right? They know when the protection is necessary. You know what I mean? There's all kinds of things that we don't know. The spiritual reality, that exists in those worlds. We don't know all the details. We just know a little bit. The headlines. The Rashi Tevot. We don't know. We don't understand the whole matter. Okay, so that's the whole thing, right? Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov says Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov, "Kol mi sheyesh lo tefillin berosho v'zor'o, whoever has tefillin, with tzitzit begdo and tzitzit on his beged, muftach lo shehu lo yichata. He won't sin. He's assured that he won't sin." Perkat Chelet says in Chelet over there. Perish Rashi explains v'achut hameshulash, tefillin v'tzitzit u'mezuzah. Those three things. When you have those three mitzvot, right, you won't come to sin. Klomar the tefillin v'rosh v'zorat chashive elak kechad. So you see from there, right, the tefillin of the head of the arm is like one. Perish Rashi explains od saviv l'irav, right? Haosim tzitzit v'yichaltzen mechet. He's going to save him from sin. V'nireh shekatu ken mishum dekashyale. Seems like he wrote this because it's difficult for him. My te Rabbi Eliezer. What does Rabbi Eliezer Yaakov bring over here? My craft from this pasuk. What is he learning from there? So he explains it. The chonem malach Adonai saviv l'irav. The lo ma'ire, that pasuk is not talking about mitzvot. Not talking about mitzvot. It's talking about people who are God fearing. The gam beichaltzem. He's going to save them. Mash mashem matzilam pega ipigei olam hazeh. He's saving them from the afflictions of this world. The Chach Piresh therefore explains, Danei Yirehim hem hacharedim al devar Hashem. So he says the God fearing people, the ones who fear the word of God, the kaim mitzvotav. That means what? To uphold the mitzvot. Behind the kamar veichaltzem. What is it? That which it says he's going to save them. That means he's saving them from the sins. Talit katan, right? Im tov lerovsho al moshin. Look what it says, right? What about talit katan? Should you put it over your clothing or mitachat alav den maldav or under? What? The siman chet. We already explained that in siman chet, right? There you go, right? So as we already mentioned, right, that according to Maran, the talit katan should be over his clothing, right? Like in other words, on top of his shirt, like the Hasidim they put. They do like Maran, just the opposite, right? We do like who? Like the Arizal, who says it should be inside, according to the Kabbalah, So therefore, right, each one does according to his custom. That's the way it is, right? Okay, beautiful. That's it. We're done with Bet Yosef. Let's see Shulchan Aruch and we're finished. Okay. Shulchan Aruch. All right, so it says Gadol onesh al mevatel mitzvah tzitzit, right? It says whoever doesn't do mitzvah tzitzit, right? It's great is his punishment. By the way, we're talking about somebody who has a four-corner beged and doesn't put it on. That's what I'm not talking about. He doesn't wear the beged at all. He doesn't get punished because he's patur. I mean, the alav ne'amar, regarding that says lechoz b'knafot haaretz. It says right to hold the corners of the land. He's here about mitzvah tzitzit. It warns you about the words the mitzvah tzitzit, right? So I'm sorry, hazahir. The one who's careful about mitzvah tzitzit, zocher v'roeh pnei shechina. He sees the shechina. Right there you go. Right. Okay, mazal tov. We finished the tzitzit. God bless you.
Bless you, Rabbi.
Okay, ladies, now you know how to put all the tzitzit, right? So do it now, please. Go to the store, buy tzitzit, and put it on, please.
The one that you mentioned.
Yeah.
You told me on that one, but we don't wear it.
Yeah, I'm joking, but whatever. Okay. I figured I'd get that joke in, whatever. Okay. Laila tov, chazak tov, mazal tov.
Thank you. Good night.
All the best.
We got somewhere.
You almost believe me over the night. So funny. Oh, God.